Sometimes silence is the only language that tells the truth everyone else is too afraid to say. My friends, let's start right there, because that single line is going to shake something loose inside you today. You know why? Because most people have been taught the biggest lie in relationships, that if you stay silent, you lose. If you walk away quietly, you look weak. If you don't argue, don't explain, don't fight back, somehow you've surrendered. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Silence is not weakness, folks. Silence is strategy. Silence is self-respect. Silence is the moment the entire story flips, not because you fought harder, but because you finally understood your worth. Stay with me on this, because what I'm about to say might sting a little, but it will set you free. But before we go deep, hit the like button, subscribe, and make sure you stay with me till the end. Hey folks, imagine this. You're standing in a room full of people shouting, arguing, trying to prove their point. Faces red, voices shaking, everyone fighting to be heard. And then, there you are, standing quietly, hands in your pockets, calm as a mountain. You're not arguing, you're not defending, you're just still. Do you know what happens? The loudest person in the room starts to look foolish, and the quietest one becomes the most powerful presence there. That's what silence does. It doesn't make you invisible, it makes you undeniable. It's like walking into a storm and realizing you're the only one who isn't being blown away. And trust me, silence hits harder than any speech you could ever deliver. As the old saying goes, the loudest one is rarely the strongest one, and if nobody ever taught you that, welcome home, because you're about to learn it today. My friends, most people think time heals the quiet one. They never stop to think time also hurts the loud one. The person who walked away from you thinking, they'll chase me, starts feeling something later. They feel time pressing against their chest like a weight they can't shove off. Time becomes that reminder that whispers, you shouldn't have messed that up. Meanwhile, your silence becomes the echo in their mind. It's funny, isn't it? People act brave when they think they still have access to you. People laugh loud when they think you'll still be there tomorrow. But the moment you go quiet, the moment you stop explaining yourself, the moment you stop trying to fix what was never yours to fix, something begins to shift. It's like a house they thought would stand forever, suddenly showing cracks in the walls. They look around one day and realize the warmth is gone, the light is gone, you are gone. And folks, that's when silence becomes the teacher they never asked for but desperately needed. Let me break another lie for you. Silence isn't ignoring someone. It's protecting yourself from someone who didn't protect you. It's choosing peace over pressure. It's choosing clarity over chaos. It's choosing emotional discipline over emotional damage. Think about it like this. When a tree is struck by lightning, it doesn't argue with the sky. It doesn't scream back. It stands still, sends its roots deeper, strengthens itself, and grows again. Nature doesn't fight storms. Nature outlasts them, and so can you. And yes, we'll add a little humor too, because sometimes the situation that broke you starts looking funny once you've healed. Have you ever looked back and thought, wow, I was losing sleep over someone who couldn't even text back on time? See? A little laugh is good for the soul. The point is, you rise differently when you stop chasing what was breaking you. You rise quietly, slowly, steadily, just like the morning sun. No noise, no rush, no drama. Just warmth, returning to where it belongs. And before we move forward, I want you to write this affirmation in the comments right now. My silence is power. Type it, claim it, own it, and don't forget to tap the like button and subscribe, because what's coming next will change the way you look at silence forever. Stay with me. Number 1. Silence isn't weakness, It's the first shift of power. The day you stop defending yourself is the day their power over you starts to die. My friends, that line isn't just a quote, it's a mirror, because some of you have been living in a constant courtroom in your own mind, always defending, always explaining, always trying to prove that you're not the villain in someone else's story. And the moment you choose silence, that's the moment your mind panics and whispers, "If I don't say anything, they'll win." Folks, that right there is the first lie we're going to break together. Imagine this with me. You're in a boxing ring, gloves on, breathing heavy. Across from you is someone who keeps throwing emotional punches. 1 minute they pull you close, the next they push you away. Jab of confusion, hook of mixed signals, uppercut of disrespect. And what do? You keep stepping back in, keep raising your gloves, keep swinging with explanations and paragraphs and late-night essays in the name of love. You think, if I can just explain it better, if I can just say the right thing, they'll finally understand. But what you don't realize, my friends, is that the real power move is not throwing a better punch, it's stepping out of the ring entirely. That's what silence is. It's not losing the fight. It's realizing this was never a fight worth being in. Of course, your mind doesn't like that at first. You start asking yourself those same old questions. What if they think I don't care? What if they tell people I gave up? What if they move on and never look back? What if they replace me like I was nothing? That fear right there is why silence feels so uncomfortable. You've been conditioned to believe that your value lives in how quickly you respond, how hard you fight, how loudly you defend your side of the story. But ask yourself honestly, did all that explaining ever truly change who they were? Did all that talking ever really fix what kept breaking, or did it just exhaust you while they stayed the same? Here's the hard truth, folks. Some people don't deserve your words. They deserve the consequences of losing access to you. Silence is not punishment. It's protection. It's you saying, "I've already said enough. My energy has already paid too high a price." Think of your attention like money in a bank account. Every time you react to a bait, every time you respond to manipulation, every time you jump to prove your worth, you're spending your emotional savings on someone who keeps overdrawing your account. At some point, you have to close the line of credit. Silence is closing that account and walking out of the bank with what you have left: your peace, your dignity, your self-respect. And I know, my friends, some of you are thinking, but if I stay quiet, they'll twist the story. They'll tell everyone I'm the bad one. They'll act like they're fine, like I was the problem. Let me give you a quote to sit with. People who need lies to protect their ego will tell any story except the truth. You don't fix that by arguing. You don't fix that by sending a 10-paragraph message. You don't fix that by chasing them with clarity they never intend to give you. You fix it by stepping back and letting time and their own behavior speak for them. The people who are meant for you will see through the act. The ones who are not meant for you can leave with the performance. Either way, you win. Think of silence like a mirror you quietly place in front of them. As long as you keep reacting, you're standing in the way of that reflection. You're absorbing the blows, explaining their behavior, softening the edges of their choices. But when you go quiet, when you stop defending what they should already know, the mirror finally appears. They get to see themselves without your excuses. They get to sit in the echo of their own actions. That's why silence is so terrifying to people who rely on control. They can argue with your words, they can twist your sentences, but they can't twist your absence. Your absence is pure truth. It says, I don't have to be here anymore. I don't have to give you access to my heart. And that truth hits harder than any argument ever could. Now, let's talk about why it feels so hard. You've been trained to believe that love means constantly proving yourself. Maybe you grew up in an environment where you had to explain your emotions, where people dismissed your feelings, where being quiet meant being ignored. So now, as an adult, silence feels like danger. You think, if I don't speak, I'll disappear. But here's the shift, my friends. In the wrong dynamic, the more you speak, the more you disappear. The more you explain, the more they take you for granted. Silence isn't you vanishing. Silence is you returning to yourself. Picture this: a lighthouse standing on a cliff. Waves crash, storms rage, ships come and go. But the lighthouse doesn't chase any ship. It doesn't throw itself into the water to convince the boats, "Hey, I'm valuable, I'm important. Please notice me." It just stands there, shining, steady, unmoved. Some ships will sail right past like it's nothing. Others will realize that light is the only thing guiding them through the dark. That's you when you embrace silence with self-respect. You stop jumping into everyone's emotional storm and instead become the steady presence that doesn't beg to be seen. You simply are. And let me tell you, over time, that stability becomes unforgettable. You might be saying, "But they look so happy without me. They're posting, they're laughing, they're living." Let's break that lie too. People are very good at putting a filter over regret. Social media is the best stage for pretending. But performance doesn't equal peace. Not everyone who looks fine is fine, and not everyone who is quiet is broken. Sometimes the quiet one is the only one truly healing. The truth is, silence saves your energy while time reveals theirs. You don't have to expose them. Life will. You don't have to announce your worth. Your peace will. So yes, it feels scary at first. Silence feels like standing on the edge of a cliff, looking down, wondering, will there be anything left of me if I stop trying, if I stop calling, if I stop proving? And the answer, my friends, is yes, there will finally be you. You without the constant anxiety. You without the constant overthinking. You without the constant emotional begging. That's why this first step is so powerful. It's not just staying quiet. It's saying, I trust myself more than I fear losing them. And before we move into what time will do on your behalf, I want you to claim something publicly, boldly, like a line in the sand. Go to the comments and write, "My silence shifts the power." Show them, show yourself. Show the world around you that you are done using your voice to justify your worth. You're going to let your peace speak for you now. Because if you think this first shift is powerful, wait until you see what happens when time starts working alongside your silence. Stay with me. Number 2, time exposes what words can't. Time will say everything you were too tired to repeat. My friends, that one line right there is your escape from the exhausting habit of over-explaining yourself. Because let's be honest, you've already said it all. You've explained how you felt. You've tried to show them your heart. You've repeated the same truths in 10 different ways, hoping they would finally understand. And every time they brushed it off, minimized it or twisted it, a part of you started to believe that maybe you were asking for too much. But you weren't asking for too much. You were asking the wrong person. And this is where time comes in, quietly, patiently, brutally honest. Time steps in when your words have been wasted, and it does what you could never do with explanations. It reveals the truth in a way no one can run from forever. Picture this, folks. Imagine standing on a beach holding a small stone in your hand. That stone is every conversation you tried to have. Every, "Can we talk?" Every, "I didn't like how that made me feel." And standing in front of you is someone who just shrugs, kicks the sand, looks at their phone, and acts like it's nothing. So you drop the stone at their feet. That's your word. That's your boundary. but they step over it and keep walking. The old you? You'd run after them with another stone, another explanation, another chance, but this time you don't. You walk away. And here's where time does something wild. The ocean starts moving in, wave after wave after wave. At first, nothing looks different. The shore is the same. The air is the same. They still feel like they're in control, but slowly, quietly, the water starts washing away their ego's footprints. The things they thought they got away with don't feel so clean anymore. The casual dismissal, the careless words, the "they'll always be there" attitude. It all starts coming back, but this time as a weight instead of a thrill. That's what time does. Time is the wave that won't stop. You might sit there wondering, do they ever think about what they did? Do they ever replay those conversations? Does anything ever sink in? You don't see it, so your mind tells you no. You see them laugh, you see them post, you see them act unbothered, but you're forgetting something very important. People rarely process their deepest lessons in public. They don't go on Instagram and write, "Hey everyone, I just realized I hurt someone who really loved me and I messed up big time." No, they perform outside and panic inside. They hold it together around others and fall apart when they're alone. Time doesn't embarrass them in front of the world. Time embarrasses them in front of themselves. What your words couldn't do in the moment, time starts doing in the quiet. At first, they tell themselves the usual lines. "I'll find someone better. They were too sensitive. I had to walk away." Pride gives them a little script to repeat, but scripts don't last forever. At some point, the performance starts to feel fake, even to them. It's like wearing shoes that don't fit. At first, you ignore the pain, but the longer you walk, the more every step hurts. That's what happens when time stretches your choices out across days, weeks, months. What felt powerful in the moment starts feeling shallow later. That text they left unread, that call they ignored, that boundary they crossed and laughed about. All of it begins to echo differently when you're no longer there to soften the impact. They might see your name pop up somewhere. Someone mentions you, a memory resurfaces, a place reminds them of you, and for a second their chest gets tight, but their ego steps in quickly. "Don't go there, you're fine." So they push it away, again and again. But here's the thing about time. It's patient and very stubborn. It doesn't knock once. It comes back. In the car, when a song plays that you both used to listen to. In the middle of the night, when the room is dark and there's nothing left to distract them. When they see someone being cared for the way you used to care. When they have a bad day and realize the one person who used to understand them is not reachable anymore. Time is like a quiet detective, gathering all the scenes, all the moments, all the choices, and laying them out in a line until the picture is too clear to deny. And while this is happening, you're over there thinking, maybe I didn't matter, maybe they never cared. But you're measuring impact by reaction, not by reality. Just because they didn't react the way you wanted when you walked away doesn't mean they'll never feel it. Some people don't feel your absence until your energy has fully left their life. Some people don't realize how much you held them together until they have to hold themselves up and realize they never learned how. Time exposes all the little ways you were stabilizing a connection they never appreciated. Time shows them you didn't just lose someone, you lost the person who made you feel safe, grounded, seen. And when that realization hits, it doesn't whisper, it lands like a brick. Why do they act so fine at first? Because in the short term, ego is louder than truth. Long term, truth is stronger than ego. In the beginning, they lean on pride like armor, but armor is heavy. You can't carry it forever. They get tired. They get drained. And the more tired they get, the more their mind wanders back to the one place that once felt like rest, you. That's not something your words could have forced. That's something only time can create. So when you sit there, tempted to reach out, tempted to remind them of your value, tempted to say, "Hey, don't you see what you're losing?" Remember this: time is already having that conversation with them, whether you see it or not. Your silence gave time room to work. Your distance gave truth space to grow. You don't need to repeat what their own mind, their own heart, their own late-night thoughts will eventually tell them. And as time is exposing everything on their side, it's also building something on yours. Patience, perspective, strength. You start seeing that you don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their validation to move on. You don't need their recognition to know your worth. Time starts doing for you what you tried to do for them. It teaches, but this time it teaches you about you. So my friends, before we move into what happens when their pride finally cracks under that pressure, I want you to mark this moment for yourself. Go to the comments and write, "Time is revealing the truth." Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you that you are done forcing clarity. You are letting time speak where your words no longer need to. And if you think time exposing the truth is powerful, wait until you see what happens when their ego has to stand in front of that truth with no excuses left. Stay with me. Number 3, their ego is loud at first, but stillness breaks it. The ego screams on day 1, but it's the silence on day 100 that tells the real story. My friends, we have to start there because a lot of you are fooled by the opening act. You see the beginning of separation, the breakup, the distance, and all you notice is how loud they are. They're posting, they're laughing, they're outside, they look free, unbothered, and somehow happier without you. And your mind starts lying to you. They didn't care. They never cared. I was the only one who suffered. But that's not the truth. That's just the ego doing what the ego does best in the beginning, put on a show. Folks, their ego is the loudest when they're most afraid of feeling what's actually going on inside. Imagine this. There's a stage in the middle of a city, bright lights, music, people cheering. On that stage is their ego performing its favorite role. I don't care. Costume on, fake smile, jokes, new people, selfies, stories, the whole movie. And you? You're in the audience, watching it all from a distance, stomach twisting, thinking, wow, they really moved on fast. But what you don't realize is that stages are always empty. Lights always go off. Crowds always go home. The performance has to end at some point, and when it does, when they step off that stage into a quiet room, all that noise they made means nothing. It's just them and their reflection. No applause, no validation, no performance. Just the truth. That's where stillness starts doing its work. At first, though, they feed off attention. They might post things they know you'll see. They might show off like they're living their best life. They might tell friends, "I'm good, I needed this," like they're some unshakable legend of emotional control. And you sit there wondering, was I really that easy to replace? Was I really that forgettable? Those questions hurt, I know, but remember this. People who are truly at peace don't need to prove it. You don't see genuinely calm people throwing their happiness in anyone's face. When someone goes out of their way to show the world how fine they are, it's not peace speaking, it's fear. It's their ego desperately saying, look at me, I'm okay, right? The show isn't for you, it's for themselves. The lie we're breaking here is the idea that whoever looks strongest first wins. That's not how real life works. Strength isn't proven in the first week of silence. It's revealed months later in who's actually at peace and who's quietly falling apart. In the beginning, ego is like a loud firework. It bursts, it flashes, it makes a lot of noise. But after the sky goes dark again, what's left? Just you, your reality, and your thoughts. When the group chat is quiet, when the phone battery dies, when the party ends and they're alone with themselves, that's when your absence stops being a concept and starts being a feeling. And feelings don't care about how big the performance was. Feelings show up when everything else goes still. Why does stillness break the ego? Because ego only survives off distraction. The ego needs movement, validation, reaction. It needs your anger. It needs your replies. It needs to know it can still trigger you. When you go silent and stay silent, you remove the ego's favorite food, your reaction. At first, they might laugh it off. They're mad. They'll cool down, they think. But as days turn into weeks and you don't break, something starts shifting inside them. They check your profile a little more often. They listen for your name more carefully. They hear a joke that reminds them of you, and suddenly it doesn't feel as funny. The same silence they thought meant I win slowly starts to feel like maybe I miscalculated. Here's where the fear kicks in, for them and for you. For you, the fear is, what if they never realize anything? For them, beneath all the pretending, the fear is, what if I really lost something I can't replace? They won't say it out loud, but it shows up in small cracks. They ask mutual friends about you, but casually. They check if you viewed their story. They type a message and delete it. They hover. And all the while, their ego keeps whispering, don't reach out. Don't admit anything. Don't look weak. So they stay loud on the outside and restless on the inside. That's the price their ego pays for pretending not to care. You need to understand, my friends, it's not your job to rescue them from that discomfort. It's not your job to soothe the ego that treated you like an option. Your only job is to protect your peace and stay grounded in your stillness. Stillness doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you choose not to act on every feeling. It means you feel the urge to text and you breathe through it. You feel the impulse to check what they're doing and you stay with yourself instead. You feel the pain, but you also feel your strength growing underneath it. That's where real power is built, in the quiet, in those moments when nobody sees how hard it is not to reach out, but you don't. Think about a glass of muddy water. When you keep shaking it, when it's always moving, it stays cloudy. You can't see anything clearly. That's what their life looks like when they're constantly chasing distraction. But when you put that glass down and leave it still, what happens? Over time, the mud settles. The water clears. That's your life after you choose stillness. The longer you stay rooted, the more clearly you see what was actually happening, who they were, what you accepted, what you deserve. Meanwhile, on their side, stillness doesn't clear them, it exposes them, because in their quiet moments, they're forced to face what they did with someone who genuinely cared. So yes, their ego might be loud at first. They might look like they're thriving. They might walk around like losing you was nothing. But remember the fireworks. Remember the stage. Remember the glass. Noise is temporary. Performances fade. Movement stops. Stillness always wins in the end. The question isn't, are they loud now? The question is, who will be at peace later? And my friends, that's where you're headed if you stay committed to your silence. Before we move into what happens when the feelings they buried start returning stronger than before, I want you to anchor this in your mind and in the comments. Go write this today. My stillness breaks their ego. Show them without saying their name. Show yourself that you understand your power now. Show the world around you that you're not chasing noise. You're choosing calm. Because if you think stillness is powerful now, wait until you see what happens when the very emotions they ran from come back and demand to be felt. Stay with me. Number 4, what they pretend not to feel always returns stronger. Ignored feelings don't disappear, my friends. They just come back later with interest. Let's start there, because that one line explains more about their behavior than any excuse they've ever given you. They like to act cool. They like to act unbothered. They like to act like nothing touched them, like your love, your presence, your effort was just another chapter they casually flipped through. But life doesn't work on pretend. You can lie to other people, you can lie to social media, you can even lie to yourself for a while. But feelings wait. And the more someone tries to bury them, the heavier they become when they finally resurface. Picture this, folks. Imagine they're holding a big beach ball in a swimming pool, and that beach ball is every feeling they refuse to admit. Missing you, regretting how they treated you, knowing they pushed away something real. At first, they think they're smart, pushing the ball under the water. Nope, I don't miss them. Nope, I don't feel bad. Nope, I'm fine. Everything's fine. They smile, they joke, they scroll, they flirt, they post. The ball stays under for a while, and from the outside, it looks calm. But what they don't realize is that the deeper they push those feelings down, the more pressure they build. And then one day, usually when they least expect it, the beach ball shoots up out of the water and smacks them right in the face. That's how suppressed emotions work. They don't politely knock, they explode. You sit on your side asking questions like, do they ever think about what they did? Do they ever feel guilty? Do they miss me at all? And because you can't see inside their mind, you start to answer for them. No, they don't. They just moved on. But here's the lie you've been sold, that feelings only count if they're visible, that if they don't cry publicly, suffer loudly, or confess dramatically, then they never cared. That's not true. Most people don't grieve their losses on a stage, they grieve in private. They don't post the nights they can't sleep. They don't upload the moment a random memory punches them in the chest. They don't share the regret that makes them unlock your chat, reread, then lock the phone without saying a word. Some of them were raised on bad emotional lessons. Don't show weakness, don't admit hurt, don't say you miss someone, don't let anyone know they affected you. So what do when they start to feel your absence? They tighten up. They double down on the act. They try to outrun the ache. They talk louder, laugh harder, distract more. They joke about you. They downplay what you had. They might even say things like, I don't care, I'm better off. But that's not confidence. It's a shield. A shield made of denial, fear, and ego. And shields get heavy over time. Think about it like this. Emotions are like letters life keeps delivering to their doorstep. At first, they refuse to open them. Nope, not today, not reading that. They throw the envelopes in a drawer. I don't miss them. I don't regret anything. But the letters don't disappear. They pile up. One day the drawer doesn't close properly. One day the stack falls out. One day they're forced to sit alone with a floor full of everything they tried not to feel. That's when each moment starts replaying in a different light. The last conversation they cut short, the message they ignored, the way you tried to explain how you felt while they brushed you off. Suddenly, it's not funny anymore. It's not casual. It's not light, it's heavy. At the same time, there's a reason this whole thing feels so unfair on your side. You felt everything up front. You got hit with the pain early, the confusion, the loneliness, the what did I do wrong spiral. You stayed up late connecting dots, replaying moments, questioning your worth. You processed the loss while they were out there pretending there wasn't one. That can make you feel foolish, like you're the only one who ever genuinely cared. But here's the twist, my friends. Because you faced your feelings early, you also get to heal earlier. You bleed early, but you grow early. They delay the pain, but they don't dodge it. Life always sends the bill. So why do the emotions return stronger for them? Because when you keep running from a feeling, you never meet it at its original size. You meet it after it's been multiplied by time, avoidance, and regret. What they pretended not to care about becomes the thing they can't stop thinking about. The person they treated like an option becomes the person their mind keeps circling back to when every shallow distraction fails. That smile they dismissed, that support they took for granted, that safe space they misused. None of it hits them softly. It hits them all at once. And the worst part for them, by the time it hits, you're no longer where they left you. Because while they were rejecting their own feelings, you were slowly learning to respect yours. While they were suppressing, you were processing. While they were avoiding, you were awakening. You started to see the truth. That loving someone doesn't mean abandoning yourself. That wanting connection is human, but begging for it is painful. That your silence is not cold-hearted, it's self-care. You began to accept that you can miss someone and still stay gone. That you can remember the good and still choose a future without them. That your heart isn't weak for feeling, it's strong for surviving. Here's a quote I want you to hold on to. You don't heal by making them feel it. You heal by finally letting yourself feel it and still choosing you. That's the difference. Their feelings come back with panic and regret. Your feelings evolve into wisdom and boundaries. They ask themselves, what if I messed up something I can't get back? You start asking, what do I want to build now that I have my peace back? That's not the same story. That's not the same ending. So yes, what they pretend not to feel will return. It will come back in the form of regret, tension, insomnia, flashbacks, and quiet what-ifs they'll never say out loud. But your job is not to stick around and watch that chapter play out. Your job is to step fully into your next one, to let their delayed feelings be their lesson, not your responsibility. To understand that your healing is not about whether they ever admit the truth. It's about you finally living yours. Before we close this journey, I want you to plant one last flag in the comments. Go down there and write, I honor my feelings and I choose my peace. Show them without naming them. Show yourself that you're not ashamed of feeling deeply. You're proud of surviving deeply. Show the world around you that you are not going to shrink your heart just because someone else couldn't handle its depth. And if this message hit something real inside you today, my friends, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Stay with me, because your story does not end in their confusion. It continues in your clarity.